Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0. For my dear audience, in this video, I will describe some different and much beautiful ideas of DIE as welding project for beginners or welding project design and craft. So, dear audience, when we talk about a welding project, then a welding word arises in our mind, like as what is mean by welding. So welding is a fabrication process that joins material, usually metal or thermoplastics, by using high heat to melt the parts together and allowing them to mix with one another. So for my dear audience, some question arise in our mind, like as what is a welding design and fabrication, and what is a uh, main welding design and main welding crafts. So, dear audience, if we question when arise in our mind what is welding design and fabrication, then for one, welding joins together two pieces of metal, glass, or thermoplastics with similar melting points and composition using fusion. So as a fabrication is the evolutionary process of creating a metal product from layout and design to information and finishing. So welding is a process joint material. So it can be a different point of view. We can make it like as a for making decor for making decorations in home, in house, in outdoor of our house, in front of our house, like as a for beautifulness in any ceremonies, like as a we gifting it from friend to friend, and marriage ceremony it can be used, and birthday ceremony it can be used. So some basic design which can be defined like as uh, butt joint welding, as a T joint welding, as a corner joint welding, lap joint welding, and edge joint welding. It can be defined as a basic design. Five basic design we can say that it can be briefly prescribed. So, some design and fabrication are two critical stages in the production of digital integrated circuit. So, the designing stage involves creating a layout and circuit for the IC, while fabrication refers to the actual manufacturing process of the IC. As some metal design and metal fabrication comprises a number of process used to manipulate flat metal into various shape and structure, forming bending, cutting, like as punching, stamping, shearing, welding, and assembling are all types of metal fabrication, which is a process. But when we some welding, what is a welding process in crafting and designing? It can be briefly. Welding is a process of fusing two or more parts using heat, pressure, or both. So it's often done on metal, thermoplastic, and even wood. So the resulting joint is known as weldment, and the conjoined parts are known as parent material. So the material used to create the weldment is called a fiber for consumable. So some are what is a question arise in our mind, a welding fabrication, how it is mentioned in crafting and designing. It can be use semi finished or raw material to make something from start to finish, as opposed to simply assembling it. This work is typically completed by the fabrication shops or fab shop that will bid on the contract of for the job. based on an engineering drawing and specification. So some three main fabrication techniques which is used in a welding project and craft design and many other different we can say that metal joint procedures it can be. So one of cutting, the first process of metal fabrication is cutting, and the second is bending after cutting raw material. Metal fabrication companies must bend it and so as the assembling. First of all, we make a fabrication diagram in on any papers or different other drawing we can make. For first of all, planning we can say and make a diagram. So, shop drawing, also known as fabrication drawing, are detailed plans that translate design intent. So, they provide fabricators with the information necessary to manufacture, fabricate, assemble, and install all the component of the structure. So, as if we define in welding and fabrication between what is the difference, then to put it simply, fabrication or craft, welding craft designing friction is fabrication is a whole cycle in which a component or structure goes through, while welding is a part of that cycle. Although you can produce the final product without the need for welding altogether. So, fabrication is a process of constructing product by combining typically standardized part using one or more individual process. For example, steel fabrication and we say that uh, standard individual more is the production of metal structure using a range of processes such as cutting, bending, and so as assembling. So one my dear guys question me that what is the difference between welding and fabrication of steel. So metal fabrication is the overall process of manufacturing metal, whereas welding is one single part of the fabricating process. Like fabrication may include welding, but welding is always a part of fabrication. So, what welding method is best in 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 small scale welding project or welding project for beginner and welding design and craft? So, gas tungsten arc welding is probably the highest quality and most expensive of the arc welding process. It is generally performed manually. However, there are some automatic applications which can be used. So, how much temperature of welding? What is the temperature of welding in design and crafts ideas? So, it can be a while different metal requires a different temperature. Arc welding is usually, I see, performed with an arc temperature of roughly 10,000 degree Fahrenheit. So, in some fabrication step which make a craft and designing welding project in craft and designing. So, cutting whether you are producing patios, furniture, or computer frame. So, cutting raw material down to size is essential. So, one is punching many parts needs holes, slots, or other formed characteristics. So as stamping also used, so as a farming, so as machining, and then and uh, at last we can welding process also used. So if we talk about welding designs and project, then fabrication also more used. So fabrication drawing, also known as detail drawing, or a type of technical drawing that provide detailed information for the manufacturing, assembly, and construction of a product or structure. So, dear audience, I think that my video and my idea inspired you much and inspired my dear audience, relatives, and different other. So, if my idea inspired you, then subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.